Hello and welcome back to another Assassin's Creed Black Flag episode. We're going to start this one on quick, and it's going to keep on going pretty quick, because mostly we're just going to be capturing these forts and doing the quests. So essentially we're going to show this part, the carnage of trying to take down the towers. After that, we're gonna bust in, cap some heads, take the fort down, and do some quests. An eye for an eye is up first. Greetings, privateer. A grave injustice has been perpetrated against me and my company. The Spanish fleet has boarded and commandeered one of my frigates. All I ask is that you rectify the situation. Board the captured San Lorenzo, and I will be most grateful. Signed, Milo Vandegraff, honest businessman and friend. And with that, we can go off and find the San Lorenzo. And there it is. Just sitting, waiting for us. Once we get up there, we can take her down and board her. And she's gone to the depths. And that completes the mission, an eye for an eye. Nothing too special, it's kinda go on like that for a while. Next up, the expedition. A brutal gang of Templar privateers has taken refuge on a forgotten island near that one. Our target is the leader. So, we need to protect these two pirates that we showed in blue in Eagle Vision. And then to kill everybody else, but really our only target is the leader, which I didn't see him yet. Perhaps he'll show himself in the next few moments. And there he is. There's no more bad guys around, so we can come out of there. Our two pirate buddies, they seem to have died. Ooh, that poison's nice. Takes a little while, though. Come on, dude. About a quarter left. Watch all this time waiting, and then he lives from it. Oh my gosh, he died. Perfect. We even stayed out of combat. Don't know how, but whatever. The expedition contract is completed, and we can go on to the next one, the Slave Master. We have identified a particularly brutal slave tracking network operating between Africa and the West Indies. The man earning a profit for this villainy is believed to be on a nearby island. And there he is, next to his lavish house. We can run in guns a-blazing, or swords out, I suppose. Maybe that guy tried to shoot me and it just didn't work out for him. This is a heck of a fort.
That is a good shot!
out the lieutenants, or officers, whatever. And there's another. Head caps. And the next. These boys be working hard. Went down on that one. Come on, baby. Here's the next one. And you're done. Very nice, Edward. And we raise the black flag. Spanish have to just hate us. Alright, contraband is our next contract. Greetings, privateer. It is time to take a stand against those Spanish contrabandists. Though they claim to be operating under orders of the Spanish crown, there are various ships carrying smuggled goods of a most pernicious nature. Will you help me end their tyranny? And it's signed Milo Vandegraff, the San Pablo, just sitting out here. Okay, so we're just getting rid of any old ship. Here we have a brig. And another. And he's down. Got him. That was simple. Greetings, privateer. This is a black day for liberty. One of my warehouses, located, it is true, in what was once a smuggler's den, is being blockaded by a Spanish fleet. It is my fervent hope that you will free said items from said place. We gotta get rid of the blockade is all we need to do, so we can get his supplies out. We already lost one whole bar of ship health, but it looks like all 3 ships are down, and now it's time to sink them. Turns out there was a small ship that got away. We'll get rid of him. And we complete the quest. And we move on to the next one. But before we do, we can find a treasure map on an island we haven't explored yet. And there's our map, looking great. A hole in the ceiling. Probably some Mayan ruins or whatnot, and it's in the cave over here. Turns out some guys didn't like us in their restricted area, and so they come over to get us. But we can make quick work of them before reading about Crónicos dos Fietos de Guin. Portrait, where are we? Right there. Portrait of Henry the Navigator, benefactor of many famous 15th century explorers, once belonging to the estate of Peter Beckford. And since we're here, we might as well read what we missed. Charles Vane, born 1680 in England and died we don't know when. A common refrain in any biography of a Golden Age pirate goes something like this. Very little is known about this man's early life, and with Charles Vane, it's no different. We don't know where he was born or where he grew up or when he first took to sea, but maybe that's just as well, for it further heightens the mystery of this strange, unstable man. Surely one of the most ornery and unstable of the flying gang, the band of pirates who called Nassau their home for a time, Charles Vane began his career, like most pirates of the era, honestly as a privateer sailing for his king, likely living in Jamaica in 1715. He was one of many aboard Henry Jennings' assault on a Spanish expedition to recover the gold from their ill-fated wreck in 1715 off the coast of Florida. Barely a year later, it had become impossible to keep up honest work as a privateer, as British governors were skittish about breaking their terms of the Treaty of Utrecht, which called for a cessation of all aggression between the major empires. Having few other options, Vane sailed to Nassau, where many of his former colleagues were now living. Quick to anger and ferociously mean, Charles Vane quickly earned himself a reputation as a difficult captain to sail under. At some point in 1717 or 1718, an old friend, Caliso, Jack Rackham, joined his crew as quartermaster. The two remained partnered for some time, living and working out of Nassau with the likes of Benjamin Hornigold, Ed Thatch, and Henry Jennings. Next up, we've got Hilary Flint, born 1682 and died 1717. Hilary Flint was born to an aristocratic family, the youngest of three boys. The black sheep of the family, he sought solitude in his studies. Immersing himself in math and science, Flint discovered a particular interest in explosives, earning him a label of problem child. To correct this course, his parents enrolled him in military school, where he quickly worked his way into the hearts of many students and a few secret societies. After graduation, his connections earned him access to Templar ranks. His mellow nature and obsession with firearms made him an important asset. Records show an ongoing relationship with assassin Rhona Dinsmore, the nature of which is uncertain. She vanishes from the records after his death at 35. Note, he died at 35. That's so sad, ML. Yeah, well, where there's smoke, there's probably explosives, RL. Dinsmore was flighty. She'd already left one husband when she met Flint. Did anyone in Havana ever know her husband existed? ML. And it kinda sounds like she had something of a thing with Edward here. Next up we have Jing Lang, born 1686 and died the same year as Flint, 1717. Born to Chinese rebels, Jing Lang came into the world fighting, but survived to become a skilled diplomat with a flair for languages and the taste of discovery. Ambitious, Lang married the son of a general in the Qing dynasty, joining the Templar Order but severing ties with her family in the process. She served as a diplomatic advisor until a shift in political tides provoked her escape into piracy. Over the next decade, she crossed every sea, developing a reputation for brutality that preceded her into most conflicts. In the West Indies, she fell under the spell of a rumored cache of treasure and feigned a romantic relationship with one-time assassin Vance Travers to gain access to it. She might have been successful had it not been for Travers' brother, Upton, an assassin who schemed to have her killed, betraying his brother in the process. She died at the age of 30. There's a note here. I'm getting a whiff of sociopath from this one. JM takes one to know one. Just kidding. Please don't kill me, RL. I wonder how many other fiancés she had, DM. And how many other treasures, JM. Oh man, if they had some DNA from Genghis Khan, or the Queen of England, they'd be pretty set up. Next up, we got Smuggler Upton, born 1688, unknown death date. Upton Travers was born in England in 1688, 2 years ahead of his brother Vance Travers. Together they traveled to the West Indies in search of their fortune, which they established in the form of a smuggling business, which they used to fund their growing involvement with the Assassin Brotherhood. Although Vance was the more charismatic of the two assassin brothers, Upton made up for it with his measured, sensible responses to life's challenges. However, every man has a breaking point, and Upton found his after Vance took up with the Chinese pirate Queen Jing Lang. A Templar attempted to steal the treasure on which they had staked their retirement before finally attempting fratricide. Depressed, Upton turned to alcohol, which may have been a factor in his retaliation. He ultimately had both Jinglang and his brother dispatched by one of his assassins. And it turns out that was us. Next, we got Smuggler Vance, born 1690 and died in 1717. Born in England, the passionate, creative, yet incredibly gullible Vance Travers found a life for himself amongst the Assassin Brotherhood in the West Indies, where he ran a successful smuggling enterprise with his older brother Upton. Business took a turn for the worse after he met and fell in love with a Templar, Jinglang, who persuaded him to divulge knowledge of the location of buried treasure with which he and Upton planned to fund their retirement. Paranoid, Travers developed delusions that his brother plotted to steal his treasure and Jing's heart. He broke from the creed, and after a failed attempt at fratricide was killed by Edward Kenway. Note, this is a soap opera, JM. Maybe we could work with it from Jing's perspective. Signed, ML. Next up, we have Assassin Bureaus. Assassins used these nondescript locations as a place to regroup and prepare for the next mission. And next up, we have a little manuscript here. Little message in a bottle. It's number 10, Finding Steady Work. Reaching Jamaica, I pushed all idle thoughts and fantasies from my mind and set out finding myself employment. A letter of endorsement from my mentor, Mr. Davenport, hastened my success, and within a fortnight, I was able to secure an interview with an agent working for the esteemed Mr. Peter Beckford, a man known wide across the West Indies as one of honor and good intelligence, as I must say, was his agent. For the man hired me on the spot, and within 2 days' time was I set to work upon the slave quarters, fitting them with sturdier doors and tighter roofs. For my own accommodations, I am well pleased to tell they were fine. 3 windows had I, 2 of which looked upon the cane fields. When opened, A light breeze filled my room, one scented with the raw perfume of the nearby sea and the distant sound of a hushing ocean surf, often to the spiritual songs of the Negroes hard at work, entered and gave me a deep calm. It was pleasant there, only this comfort could not mask the dread I felt at the thought of catching the yellow fever, or another of the innumerable ailments that often struck those newly arrived in these parts. For my part, I saw well over 17 men and women perish from the disease within 6 months of my arrival. It seemed, then, that for every success I had, another 2 or 3 potential hazards lay in wait, and as time would tell, this proved most unfortunately true. Next up, we find ourselves back at a pigeon coop. The unworthy brother, this treacherous pirate captain, wishes to capture Fort Chinchorro for himself. Don't let it happen. We've already gone and captured this fort.
Many men's afraid of Kenway. Devil they call him. But I got one thing he don't have. This fort. I'd love to see the devil try to get past my men. He won't, of course, but if he did, oh, I'd show him hell.
I bet you would.
If you'd ever fought the half-gopher, then you'd know what I mean.
Tell it to the sea. I'm sick of your boasting and speaking in tongues.
The guy that saw me was like, "Oh crap." Alright. Next up, we see a treasure ship for the Spanish, hauling a bunch of reals back and forth. I think we'll take it. We'll relieve that treasure from your hands there, mate. Yeah, they have a... Ooh, they're tough. And he's coming right at us. He does not care. I shouldn't let him broadside me, and I don't really want to be in front of him, but we're doing pretty good right now. Just one more hit, we're good to go. His buddy decided not to come by. Alright, that was pretty decent fight, if you ask me. And they're done. We should... destroyed him, or, boarded him while we had the chance. Now we've got these guys to deal with. But after we get done dealing with them, we can take the ship and gain 10,000 reals. Now we find ourselves on another island that we haven't actually discovered yet, the Santen Islas. We unlock it as a fast travel location, but more importantly, we go to the beach over here on this little offshoot island and find another message within a bottle. Popping it open, we can read what it has to say. Turns out it's message 12, the Templar arrives. It was in April of 1673 when I espied the galleon in Kingston's harbor, flying the colors of the men of Holland, which I thought queer, but not unlikely. This was a ruse, however, for the ship's cargo was most assuredly Spanish. A gentleman called Torres once a soldier in the Spanish army, now an emissary on behalf of his king, or so said. He to Peter Beckford. I learned later that he called himself a Templar and had made his visit to Beckford's plantation to look upon Master Beckford's strange collection of collected manuscripts. Torres was 2 days with Mr. Beckford when another object took his full attention, namely me. The sight of my face stirred in him a strange sort of excitement, which I found altogether untoward at first, until he plied me with questions that shocked me to the core of my being. Said he to me one evening, after supper, "Hear you voices, Mr. Kavanagh?" "How is that?" I answered, feigning ignorance, though shaken in truth. "Voices from the dark of your mind, or memories to be clear, as it from another life entire." And here I was terrified. How was it that this man knew the odd riddle of my life, as if it were a banal fact of history? "I know not what you mean, Mr. Torres," said I, and took my leave of him, so anxious as I was. "Good night to you, sir," said he, as I departed. "We shall speak again when you are rested and ready to talk." Still shaken, I bade him good night, and made for my bedchamber, feeling another reverie coming strong upon me. When I reached my bed, I fell into both. Next up, we need to solve a puzzle to retrieve a Mayan stone. And there we have it. The keystone lie here. We can take it for ourselves.
Another.
Since we're on the island, we might as well sync with the viewpoint. Not bad. Little Mayan ruin here. And with that, we can move on to another keystone. I know this looks like the same one. I assure you that it's not. Boom. Right here. Come on. Yeah, we got it. And we can retrieve another keystone. Next, we can go on this beach to get a treasure map from this skeleton. Excuse me while I touch you in bad places to find it. We may have actually been in that cave before. Next up, we went fishing. Then after that, an island we haven't yet been to, Misteriosa. We find another message in a bottle. Number 6, my apprenticeship. When I was aged 14 years, my father, feeling I should discover some better skill or trade sensible to my habits of mind, apprenticed me to a master carpenter, joiner called Jonathan Davenport of Boston. Master Davenport had then many slaves and 2 other white boys in his employ. One, a bricklayer by trade, and the other a carpenter, both not terrible clever, but seeing in me a certain spark of intelligence and wit, Master Davenport was all too keen to place me as a joiner, and I was happy to oblige, the position earning me some £2 a year, and great satisfaction of spirit. A joiner's work requires a nice and steady hand, and a great taste in ornament, both qualities Master Davenport told me I had in large measure, and so it was with great pride that, well, prior to the customary 7 years, I took leave of my master after only 5 and set out on my own at 19 years of age to seek my success. Now a man and master in my own right, my master was not sad to see me go, but bade me good fortune, for he knew in his heart that I was the greatest talent he had yet apprenticed, for there is something of a nature genius in you, lad, a wisdom beyond your years. And so, packing a kit of all my worldly possessions, I bid my mother and father much love and farewell, then took passage on a merchant brig bound for Jamaica in the West Indies, where need for carpenters of skill were greatly needed. Next up, we find ourselves doing another little puzzle. Suppose we turn this all the way around. And I think that looks more like it. We can grab our Mayan keystone and head to whatever's next. Happens to be another Mayan keystone. This time, X actually does mark the spot. And we got that
One more for the
one.
collection.
We can take a good look at the area. It's a pretty decent-sized island. After this, we discover a treasure map on a ledge here with this poor soul.
Fortune's favor.
And that makes 2 treasure maps on this island and 2 keystones.
He don't like that!
We decide to go out
Nice one!
spear fishing again. Or should I just say spearing?
Get him before he snaps that hang away, Captain! He's turned into seaman! I don't think he likes us, Captain!
I don't think so either. Anyways, moving on. We find another message in a bottle laying about. This is number 19, Being a Sage. I remained alone at the observatory's location, plumbing its secrets, all the while besieged by such an influx of reveries. It would require a tome twice the size of a Bible to relate them all. Let it suffice to say that I came to understand the nature of the 2 souls within me, and I am now content. After near a week there, I was visited by a group of natives from the island, people of the Tiano tribe, I believe. They spotted me first, and might have killed me straight away had my utter surprise not widened my eyes to such a degree that their unusual qualities were seen by all. At seeing me thus, the natives stopped and dropped to their knees with slow gesticulations. I understood at once that these men were sworn to protect this place, and in my further conversations with them since, I have made out that it was a previous sage who had employed them. So, or more precisely, I should say, employed their ancestors. Thus, for nearly 150 years had passed since the last sage had come this way. I am told his grave lies nearby, but it's unmarked and inaccessible. It has now been over 4 decades since my arrival at this sacred place, And only one question yet lingers in my mind. How many more of my sort have been here in total? Near 80 millennia have passed since our inception, and I am apt to believe the number quite high, but I cannot know for certain. But let that not trouble you, reader, for if you have followed my story entire, look you for my final missive in the place where I will soon surely lay, hidden near the observatory, where I have instructed the guardians of this place to bury me when my passage across this mortal coil is at an end. Therefore, fare thee well until then. Next, we find ourselves fighting another fort. The fort is also fighting the Spanish, I believe. So this is a British fort. And the Spanish is fighting that other ship. At least with these two guys fighting each other, they're distracting each other and the fort, giving us a chance to get in here, take care of business. I like to be diverse when killing my targets here. That one got the old throwing knife, which I hardly ever use on the game, so it's nice to pull it out once in a while. Next we can take a prize in the dead of night. It was a treasure ship, by the way. 5,000 gold. Then we go fishing.
A fine haul today, sir.
Yes, it was. And with that, we can create our harpooning gear or whatever. We find ourselves at another fort, killing some officers before going up to the commander's room and putting him out of his misery. I told you, diverse. We put the black flag up, and we can go about our business once again. You can do another naval mission. Greetings, privateer. Britain once again proves itself the enemy of international free trade. Their so-called pirate hunters have sunk many fine and innocent vessels and must be punished. Attract their attention with using whichever methods you deem suitable and destroy them. Signed, Milo Vandergraaf, blah blah blah. He's a great guy. Yeah, so we go about getting the attention of these guys by just killing ships. Find ourselves in a storm and we can take these boys down. A treasure fleet, or treasure ship, isn't too far away, so I think we'll look at them next. We headed straight over to find out what we can plunder from these boys. We can kill the guys on board and take down their flag, and they surrender to us. And the spoils of war are 3,000 reals. Another naval contract. Papers, please. Greetings, privateer. The HMS Courage is carrying documents that would implicate legitimate businessmen such as myself in unlawful activities. The documents are, of course, false, and they they need to be destroyed nonetheless. I trust I can leave this delicate matter in your hands. So you're telling me that the guy that signs his name, honest businessman, is, being slandered, saying that he's not honest? I mean, come on, what's the world come to? It's just like the internet. Believe everything you hear. Holy crap, the HMS Courage is just huge. If you didn't know, if I didn't say this before, HMS stands for His Majesty's Ship. And the name of the ship is Courage. We've killed the enemy captain. Now we killed the enemy crew, well, 20 of them. Now we can go up and take down the old British flag. The ship surrenders to us. Their morale is plummeted. And we can blow them down to Davy Jones' locker. A lot of swords on the ground. I saw that one flip up. Gotta tell my boys to put them away. They're dangerous. Next up, we can do blind justice. Greetings, privateer. You have been afforded the rare chance of being the instrument of righteousness and justice. A criminal masquerading as a captain sails aboard a British man of war. The charges against him are probably really bad, but I didn't read the rest of this one. So we're just gonna find him and we're gonna take him out. So, we're gonna sink the escort. We don't need all that stuff. We have 158,000 reals. And there's the ship we're looking for. Ooh, she's kind of tanky. Come on. There we go. Maybe we'll board this one, huh? And there you have it. The British brought to their knees. $1,000, 60 rum, sugar, and then some shot. The 130 rum was okay, I guess. I mean sugar, sorry. Not rum. And we're moving on. Oh yeah, and I lost a ship in the fleet, so this one can replace it. Our next one is a personal matter. Greetings, privateer. A valiant countryman and close personal friend has been lost to a wicked British captain. Sink his ship, the HMS Defiance, and all those who aid the criminal. Signed, Milo Vandegraff, blah, 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 blah. Alright. When we get close enough and it just shows us where they are. Well, it's their fault for getting in the way. Either way, we kill him, we can take him down, we complete the mission. We can move on to bigger and better things. Like buying more stuff for our little village here. First up, the brothel.
A good captain, he takes care of his men, yes? The sailors are un peu dissatisfied that there are no women of comfort here. I know just where to find them, but we need to build them a home.
Anyways, this building allows us to hire dancer groups for free. I like how they changed the name from whatever it was before.
Why not build ourselves
dancer
a grand
groups.
old bonfire by the beach?
I know I've mentioned that before.
The lads would be a better cheer if they had such a spot to let loose.
Like somebody got upset and they changed it. But we finally get our little fire pit for $7 grand. Now we can...
This still doesn't quite feel like home.
Thank you, Edward. Renovate the manor's facade. I guess I don't know what it looked like before. Maybe it's just a little updated.
It's still missing a little something.
And we can pay to get a garden tower and fix the garden. It seems like there's one more.
What can I add to make it perfect?
But it's for 40 grand. to add a guest house. So we must decline, but we're so close. So we can run down to the general store, but before we do, we can put our keys in this. And we're missing one key. Anyways, we can make our way down to the general store and sell a little bit of cloth to get the amount of money that we need. Head back up, purchase a nice guest house. That is actually kind of nice, right up on the hill. Very, very nice. And then we can head on out to our next final contract. Greetings, privateer. I must record a sad day upon the calendar, for it is my last. As an active merchant, circumstances have forced me into retirement. Though I do not believe my enemies will allow me to withdraw without a fight, I plead for your assistance, as I fear both the Spanish and British will soon be upon me. Signed, Milo Vandegraff, a former honest businessman and constant friend. Yeah, I don't think you were ever an honest businessman to start with. And as for being my friend, I mean, that's pushing it too. You've been a benefactor for me, I guess, and that's about as far as it goes. Look, as long as the money's good, I don't care what you call yourself. And as he said, it looks like he's being harassed by the British already. So there it is, the pirate ship, the Hollander. We need to protect and escort it as it leaves the area. Unfortunately for us, our job is about to be made a little bit harder, as there's a storm moving in. Take a shot with our mortars, and again, and do what we can to protect our honest businessmen and friend, Mr. Vandegraff. Ooh, almost hit our buddy there. Don't want to do that since he's almost dead.
Our merchant friend has earned himself some serious enemies. I got it. They seem rather committed to his capture. Christ, this reward better be worth it.
I think it's like $2,800. It's not incredibly worth it, but we're trying to make it happen. I didn't hit that guy on the left, so I think he got struck by lightning. This guy's coming right at us. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be a tough battle. There are like 3 of these guys. I guess it's good that they're distracted on us, even though we're taking lots and lots of damage. Did we make it? Oh, good. Holy cow, we made it. That was pretty tough. Alright. While we go after this treasure fleet, I'd like to announce that this is the end of the episode today. I'd like to thank you for watching. If you made it this far, please do like, comment, subscribe. Do all the YouTube things that YouTube wants you to do. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do comment if you did make it this far, or if you didn't make it this far. But if you didn't make this far, I guess you wouldn't hear me talk about it. Anyways, I'd like to respond to the comments And whether it's a comment about the video or just what's on your mind for today, I'd like to hear about it. I'd like to comment on it. Tell me if you heard the debate. What was it, yesterday or the day before? Tell me what you thought about that. I didn't think that many questions were answered. I didn't really expect too much. The state that we're in right now is kind of a rough one, but it is what it is. So, yeah. Anyways, tell me what you thought about the video or whatever, and yeah, we will see you next time. Take her easy, and goodbye.
Taking a bucket, Captain!